so sad to the field fringed hillside as you walk this land.
Well, hello everybody.
Hello.
And welcome to Ninebarrow Wandering Minstrels episode 5.
Wonderful to have you back here at Ninebarrow HQ, and we hope that whatever you got up to over this festive period, which is now done and dusted, that you had a jolly good time.
Yes. Astronomical autumn has long since taken its final breath. And as we enter this darkest portion of the year, we thought it would be lovely to cuddle up on our respective sofas and have an evening together.
Yes, an evening of music, chat, good company with you guys, and live performances from us, from within the landscape that inspires us the most.
Yes, or indeed, in the case of this episode, from beautiful buildings within the landscapes that inspire us the most.
Yes, no, we learnt our lesson last year. Trying to sing outside in the depths of winter wasn't particularly conducive to good circulation in our fingers or our general health and well-being, to be honest. So,
no, it wasn't. I still haven't recovered actually from that February one. So, should we find out what's coming up in this evening's show?
Let's. We explore the rolling hills and dramatic coastline between the villages of Kimmeridge and Kingston and stop off at 3 fabulous historic buildings along the way.
And we'll sing you some songs from inside a couple of those fabulous historic buildings.
Back in the studio, we catch up with our mate Ben Cipolla to chat about his new album inspired by his family's roots on the island of Sicily.
We'll bring you a song from the Ninebarrow Gig Archive.
And we'll also be sharing a track from our episode 5 mixtape, accompanied by some rather exciting news about our 2023 walking holidays.
So I think it's about time that we head on over to Purbeck.
Hello everyone, here we are at Swyre, just a stone's throw away from the gorgeous village of Kingston in, where else but Dorset's Isle of Purbeck.
Yes, and it is another, well, I was going to say another gorgeous day. It's actually really
gorgeous.
chilly and really grey, but it is gorgeous in its own way. At 203 feet, Swyre is actually Purbeck's highest point, and we're actually stood atop a massive Bronze Age burial mound.
As you would expect from Purbeck's highest point, there are beautiful views in every direction here. We've got Corfe Castle behind us to the northeast, we've got the Isle of Wight over there in the distance to the east, and St Aldham's Head and its beautiful chapel to the southeast.
Yeah, and to the west, we've got Kimmeridge in the foreground, stretching away into the mist and over towards the Isle of Portland and beyond.
It really is a splendid spot, and you can certainly understand why a Bronze Age person of high standing might have wanted to see out eternity here. So,
yes, absolutely. Well, look, Swyre is somewhere that we've been coming for, well, forever, really, years and years. You might be under the misapprehension that Jay and I only come on massive long walks.
that last all day.
But that is not always the case, because in actual fact, more often than not, we just don't have the time to come out for an entire day's walking. But there is a lovely loop around here that's just a mile or so long, and it's one of the ones that we quite often nip up and do when we feel like we need a quick fix.
Sometimes you just need to come and get a little tiny top-up of the outdoors, and this is always at the very top of our list. However, the good news today is that we've actually set aside quite a lot of the day to take you on a lovely, an all-day walk, to take you on a slightly longer jaunt. So, John, where are we heading today?
Well, Jay, we're going to actually be cutting down from Swyre and down to the southwest coast path. We're going to follow it until we reach Kimmeridge Bay and a pretty incredible folly called Clavell Tower. Now, before we go, I think we need to probably say, if you're sitting there thinking, can I hear the sounds of machine gun fire in the background?
Boom, bang, a bang.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
That is the sound of the Lulworth Ranges, which slightly strange contrast on an otherwise very tranquil day.
We'll call it a
here.
juxtaposition. shall we?
Juxtaposition.
Yeah.
It's kind of moody though, right?
So, shall we go?
Yes, let's do it.
It's been a while since I've been home. Last time the sun still held his own against the night. And while I slept, November came. It's hard remembering warmer days. I'd rather stay here this time round, safe and hidden without a sound. Let's go back there, you and I, where the gold sun hits black sky, and we'll go walking in the rain. Let's go back there, you and I, where the hills are stretching high towards the sun. We'll go walking in the rain when the days don't end the same.
Well, we've made it down to the coast path where it has to be said, significantly windier.
Just a bit.
And we've come about a half mile along this this fascinating piece of coastline.
It's just amazing. So 155 million years ago, the rocks of Kimmeridge Bay and the surrounding coastline, they were laid down at the bottom of a deep tropical ocean.
Oh, did you say tropical?
I said tropical,
Oh,
yes. It was rather splendid.
Today, they form part of 95 miles of coastline of Dorset in Devon, known as the Jurassic Coast, and it's a designated World Heritage Site. And the cliffs that we're walking along here are a sequence of Kimmeridge clay, which I guess explains why when you walk along this stretch of coast path after any rainfall,
like today,
your walking boots end up weighing about 3 times as much as they normally do as you drag along great clods of the stuff with you.
Yes, but it also explains why this particular section of the coastline feels quite different to the rest of the Purbeck coastline on either side of it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's very much limestone to the east and limestone to the west, either side of Kimmeridge. And it's a change that's quite noticeable. There's no quarries along this section of coast for a start.
And at low tide, each layer of the strata here gives a little window into the different periods of our geological past, and there's been a great many wonderful fossils that have been found in this area.
Yeah, fossil hunting at Kimmeridge is pretty much a rite of passage for any young Dorset whippersnapper, myself included, actually. And I was thinking about this. If our GCSE geology teacher, Mr. Lear, could see us now, oh my goodness.
Yes, we might have paid some more attention in class, I think, if we knew that we were going to be doing this for a living.
Yeah, I think I think that's safe to say. Right, shall we head on a bit?
I think we need to.
Okay, onwards to Clavell Tower. So this structure behind us is Clavell Tower, and around these parts it's, well, a pretty iconic building.
Standing 35 feet high, it was built in 1830 by Reverend John Richards Clavell as an observatory and a folly, and over the years it's given inspiration to so many people, the likes of Thomas Hardy and P.D. James, and it's now owned by the Landmark Trust.
Yes. Now, what makes this tower even more curious and fascinating than it already is the fact that we are actually stood, as you can see, on some foundations. What foundations, we hear you ask? Well, Clavell Tower's foundations.
Yes, well, how can this be? Well, in a pretty extraordinary move to save the tower from its rather precarious position atop the cliff, the Landmark Trust literally took this tower apart brick by brick, and in 2006 it relocated every one of the 16,272 stones, rebuilding it over there 80 foot inland, where you can now see it behind us.
Incredible, right? It cost nearly £1 million to fund the relocation project. That is approximately £12,500 for every foot moved, or if you prefer, 60 quid per stone of the building.
So it's now one of the Landmark Trust's holiday lets. So if you're interested, you and one other person can be accommodated inside with 360-degree panoramic views of the surrounding coast and countryside. And I think it's pretty fair to say you don't get many views like that from a hotel room.
No, you certainly do not. So we're actually going to wend our way up through the gorgeous village of Kimmeridge and towards its church, where we may just give you a song.
Maybe.
You scramble, you stroll, let the outdoors in to feed your soul with a glint of winter and the promise of spring. Bright swallows in summer and the auburn autumn rain. You who ramble, you who range, may the hills you love always be unchanged, and the map and compass always guide you down when the sun's in the west and your path is homeward bound.
Hello there. Well, here we are inside St Nicholas Church in Kimmeridge. It's a fabulous building. It's lovely, beautiful acoustics, and it dates back, well, the oldest parts of it date back to the Norman period. There's a font at the back, which I think is 13th century?
Maybe even 12th century.
12th century, which was apparently discovered in a hedge somewhere in 1920 and then relocated into here. So there's some wonderful bits of history.
So we thought we'd come and sing inside for you. We've only sung inside for you once before on Wandering Minstrels, wasn't it? It's an old
Episode
one's head.
3.
Yes, but we thought it would be an excuse to sing for you here, also to get out of the cold. It's rather chilly out there. It's also rather chilly in here as well.
We're trying to avoid frostbite, but I'm actually not sure it's not colder in here than it is, in fact, outside.
But we'll brave it for you.
We'll brave it.
I'll put my hands in my pockets.
We will brave it for you. So yes, we're going to sing you a song called Winter King.
I love singing this song, but it's one of those things that we don't really sing very often out and about, because there only seems to be a certain portion of the year where it seems fitting
that it
to
feels
sing
appropriate.
it. And
we do. I mean, we sing summer songs in the middle of winter,
Yeah.
but that seems fine because it's about buoying up everybody's spirits, and you know, it's okay, guys. The days are going to get longer again. But singing a winter song in the middle of summer kind of seems a little bit inappropriate.
so we'll make the most of this particular time of year and sing it for you now.
So it's inspired by the old tradition of the summer and winter kings, the old pagan tradition. This notion that throughout the course of the year, these two entities were struggling for power and control over the greenwood. As the days got longer, the summer king came into his ascendancy, and as the days got shorter, it was the winter king who became more powerful. And these two entities are represented in old tradition by the robin and the wren. And the wren is the king of winter, and the robin is the king of summer.
It's a bit counterintuitive, really, isn't it, these days? You kind of see robins stuck on Christmas cards, but...
It is, yeah, absolutely. I think we've got the Victorians to blame for that. But this is a song about the old tradition of hunting the wren on Boxing Day. This idea that the shortest day, the solstice had passed, and that the days were now getting longer, and hunting the wren being symbolic of better days being around the corner.
So they'd celebrate the coming of the longer days by jamming a wren on a stick. And we could, understand why they might be happy to do that particular thing, but we felt pretty bad for the poor wren.
We did.
So we thought we'd write this song.
Yes. So in it, a girl hears the wren singing in the morning, and knows that the boys of the village are on the hunt. But she rather hopes that her winter king is going to live to reign another day. So, Winter King.
The wren below my window has just begun to sing. He woke me from my slumber. He should be on the wing with the flowering of the snowdrops, the winter king must fly. For the boys they are a-hunting beneath this leaden hunting. Beneath this leaden sky.
Winter King from St Nicholas Church in Kimmeridge, with the addition of...
We're not quite sure what bird it was. It's a little bit too dim to
There is a
actually
bird
see.
in here which was flying around whilst we were singing, which was slightly off-putting, but also delightful in so many ways. Oh.
Right, so,
Gonna go get some circulation back in,
Yeah.
back in the old fingers, and maybe hand back to, well, Jay and John in the slightly cosier Ninebarrow HQ studio. So, as we were packing our stuff away after that little sing-song, we did manage to capture a bit of footage of the bird that was in there with us.
amateur footage, it has to be said.
It is a bit wobbly, I apologise for that. We had put the tripods away and I was zoomed in quite a long way as
And
well.
the wren wasn't really being particularly accommodating.
No, in fact it's the wren's fault.
Yeah.
Well, we say wren.
We kind of assume it was a wren.
We actually think that the most likely candidate, and do let us know if you disagree, because you're probably more expert at this than us. We think this could actually be a wren. Doesn't come out brilliantly on the footage, but to our own eyeballs, it actually did seem like the most likely candidate. Let us know what you think, but I choose to believe that a cheeky wren snuck in to hear our song about the Winter King.
We did have to let the church warden know about it. We tried to coax it out at the end of our little stint there, but
We did.
they weren't having any of it. But the church warden says that they're quite used to this happening and they are quite sure that they will get out again.
So, well, how can you let us know whether you think it's a wren or not? Well, you can let us know in the comments, everybody.
Comments.
Yes. Whether you're joining us via the YouTube feed where you can comment, or if you are perhaps commenting using one of our epic Barrow Bods Facebook group chat threads. We love reading your comments, so keep them coming. Let us know where you're tuning in from, and if you want to join our wonderful online community, just search Facebook for Barrow Bods. I think that will come up, or Ninebarrow Barrow Bods, and it'll definitely come up. And you can join a community where we spend most of our time talking about, well,
All sorts of stuff.
all sorts of stuff: the outdoors,
Gardens,
music,
pets,
cooking. Anything else?
quite a lot.
Yeah.
Anything you like, really.
Anything you like, basically. You will know if you've joined us before that these episodes are not just about the music of Ninebarrow. We like to use them as an opportunity to share some of the music that we love listening to as well.
Yes, and you know, people that you might not have heard of, but jolly well should have done. And this show is no different. And we are about to introduce you to, if you've not heard of him before, introduce you to Ben Cipolla.
Yes, a good friend of ours who we met quite a few years ago, and since then have basically been looking for every possible opportunity we can to share the stage with him.
Yes, we invited him down to Lyme Regis for Lyme Folk Weekend for one of our Ninebarrow and Friends concerts, and he's also been wowing our audiences at our musical walking holidays.
He has. Our nickname for him is Mr. Sunshine, because it is essentially almost impossible to listen to Ben sing without having a big grin plastered on your face.
He will turn any frown upside down, guaranteed.
It is guaranteed. So we caught up with him a little earlier today, but before we show you that interview, let us have a little listen to the beautiful sound that Ben Cipolla makes.
When they need to make a run, when the sun overheats their childhood dreams. Oh, they say it's like living out in Africa, or
or tired of sitting in the shade. I throw their voices out into the plastic beach to be heard, but they seem to be out of thoughts and out of touch every day. Every day now.
Ben Cipolla.
Hello.
How are you doing,
Good
sir?
morning. I am very, very well, thank you. It's such a glorious morning here in Bristol.
Excellent. Just before we continue, there seems to be some kind of like steam coming up in front of
Oh yeah.
some kind of dry ice machine going on there. Is it?
Yeah, no, you're right there. I've tried to add this into my sets when I'm just playing with my guitar, but now it's now in the podcast world as well. So
Hey, fair dues.
yeah.
What is it?
Oh, it's a gorgeous big cup of tea.
It is. It does look like quite a large mug, actually. It's making me feel slightly inadequate here. I have to be honest. Well, look, man, we've been thinking back to when it was we first met you, which was quite a few years ago now, and I think it was back in Oxford.
It was in a folk club, wasn't it?
It was at a folk gig. Now, I think the first question we've got for you is: we first met you in a folk context, and have since played with you in other folk contexts. Do you consider yourself to be part of the folk genre, or do you identify with other genres?
I think I'm definitely, I'm in the folk world to some extent. Because,
You've got a toe in the folk world.
yeah, yeah, couple of toes in the folk world. But I suppose I was surrounded by the jazz festival world of Marlborough, where I grew up. So I kind of didn't have any choice but to be in that world, because nothing else around that area was going on apart from this big jazz festival. So I sort of, started my creative journey in the jazz scene. If it wasn't for that jazz festival, I probably wouldn't have started busking and started writing music. That was sort of when I was 13, 14. And then I was part of this incredible Southwest music school that would do residentials sort of 3-4 times a year. I would collaborate with the most amazing musicians from all genres. Most of it was classical, some was folk, some was jazz, but it was kind of like an orchestra of singer-songwriters as well as people in an actual orchestra. So it was really interesting, and I had a real privilege, I would say, at an early age to dip into different genres. And I came out of, I would say, my GCSEs with a real love of jazz music, but what made me sort of have a vow to myself that I would become a singer-songwriter is when I listened to Nick Drake. And I just remember it so well. You just like parts of your life when you look back and you can just see it so vividly. And I can remember that moment.
It's amazing hearing you say that, because I have to say, I feel quite similar about a Nick Drake moment in my life. And I would say it was a huge influence on us as well, but I can definitely hear that influence in your music. And it's a beautiful thing. But the bottom line is, you don't mind fraternising with a couple of dirty folk musicians. That's,
I don't know who you're relating to in that sense. But yeah.
Definitely us, right?
No.
We're not casting aspersions to anyone else in the folk fraternity.
oh no, just us.
Just us.
Dirty folk musicians. I would not associate that phrase of you two at all. The complete opposite. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's whoever you walk into in your life, and I guess I've been very lucky that this sort of fruitful music school just really exclusively in the
Cross-pollinating.
Southwest. Yeah, cross-pollinating, that's a great word. Just sort of giving me the confidence to not pigeonhole myself in a genre.
So all this talk of creativity, where are the main sorts of focuses recently for your creativity?
I think for me, I've been reading, I've been listening to this podcast about these two very simple concepts of sort of ripening and harvesting in your creative world. And I would say my creativity at the moment is more harvesting, because I've sort of been ripening the past 2-3 years until now on this new album, this Sicilian inspired album. So yeah, recently I guess my creativity has been in the visual side of doing lots of silly videos on TikTok.
I love the silly videos. I really need to know where you got that video looping thing from. What were you using for that?
We are now. You realise we are now going to have to cut to one of these silly videos just to show, because nobody. You being wheeled around in a wheelbarrow is a particular favourite of mine.
Definitely.
Oh, bro, thanks, John. Yeah, I mean, it's just a funny old year of realizing that I need to showcase what I've got in a slightly different way, and the only way has been online, right?
So look, you've alluded to a new album. So tell us a little bit about that, because it's a fascinating concept for an album.
So the album title is called Sicilia, which is how you would say it in Sicily. The concept came about was I was my final year at uni, and I had this really wacky lecturer called Andy Garby, and he had like the most incredible energy, and he gave me this task to write a song using one word, and I had to sort of pick it out of the hat, and it was abandoned, and I was like, right, okay, I'll just type it in on Google and see what happens. And so I typed in the word, and one of the first things that came up was this article about refugees in Sicily, that it's sort of getting a bit overwhelming over there, that there was so many that were coming into Sicily from Africa and just from Eastern Europe as well. And so I was just like really taken aback by this article and thinking, it's funny that, I've got Sicilian roots, but I've never discovered them properly. Why don't I sort of delve into that and discover where my dad's side of the family are from? Because I know a lot about my mum's side. And so it's just that one word and that one uni assignment that sparked this concept about writing 9 songs to represent each province in Sicily.
Something that we love about your music is that it transports, this idea of writing a concept album about the 9 provinces within Sicily. It really does transport people when they're listening. You can really feel it. Now, I think I'm right in saying you have actually recorded us a version of one of the tracks off the album. Now, it's called Enna. Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit, because now everybody knows it must be about a province in Sicily, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Enna is a city as well as a province in Sicily. So Enna was sort of a song I wrote before I went out to Sicily, which is where I got so much inspiration to write the rest of the album. And it was the feeling, it was based on a feeling of sheer panic, actually, because I had 2 days before handing in this uni deadline for my album, and so I hastily just thought, right, okay, I'll just think of, I don't know, I'll just repeat this word, you know. And I remember it feeling really rushed, but then I sort of kept going round in my head, and you know what it's like, and you just kind of, it doesn't go away, and you're like, okay, that'll
we can
do.
say quite clearly, it doesn't go away. Once you start hearing this song, you'll be humming this song for the rest of the year. So
For everybody watching, Ben released this as a single late last year, and I sent him a WhatsApp message saying, thanks, I've got a bone to pick with you because I've literally been humming it non-stop now for about 3 days.
I'm sorry, I know. I don't know how many times I actually say the word in the song, but I'm sure someone will figure it out.
It's a perfect song for joining in with, though. You don't have to learn a massive long chorus. It's just, if you can pick, you got the word, you can join in, you can harmonise with it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Oh, thank you.
So, thank you so much for chatting to us, Ben. It's been a pleasure.
It's been an absolute dream. I've never sort of done anything like this before, so it's just, you know, for you guys to be so supportive of my music, I really appreciate it. And I always feel so uplifting after sharing the stage with you guys, or just watching your set, mate. You know.
The feeling is absolutely mutual.
Thoroughly mutual.
Absolutely mutual. So look, everybody, Ben recorded this a little earlier. It's a track called Enna. It's from his new album, which is called
Sicilia.
Yes, and I'm so glad I just did that little pause there for Jay to say it, because I was a little bit worried I was going to say it incorrectly. But here's Ben with his single from the current album, Enna.
Enna, 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 Enna. She is supple. Can she stretch and bend her tobacco legs and femininity? Her heart tightens as she wears the most sophisticated dress you'll ever see. Singing Enna, 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 Enna. She can make the farmers turn their heads, making the flagpoles bow on a windy day. There is no such word as end, she says, and she decorates her problems on the runway, and she decorates her manners on the pathway, singing Enna, 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 Enna. Oh, she's a symbol of nobility. I'm privileged enough to drive into a world and count her riches and count her wishes, and reach the gateway of her carousel. She can lose her dignity to Sicilian farmers or drink lemonade. She's alone in the dark, seeing nothing but her mystery. Blindness absorbs her senses, sitting cross-legged on a track. No platform to attack, no castle to protect her. Just the desperate hours that'll mend her, 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 that'll mend her. And
there you go. Mr. Sunshine, I told you. And now you, like us, can also hum that song indefinitely for the next 5 days.
Yes, or 5 years, more like. I think it's a bit of an earworm, isn't it? But if you were also enamoured by Ben's music, why not head over to his website, bencipolla.com. And if you're not sure how to spell Cipolla, that's absolutely fine. We've got you covered. We're going to put it down in the comments below.
We will. So, if you've watched a few of these episodes, you'll know that, gosh, must have been back at the beginning of last year, we launched something called the Concert Archive over at the Ninebarrow website. And it's essentially a database of some of our favourite online broadcasts that are there for you to stream at your leisure as many times as you like.
As an extra bonus, the video quality is usually substantially better than we could actually do on the night of the broadcast.
Yes.
So, extra special. And this newest edition is no different.
It isn't. And it's called Live from the Great Outdoors Volume 2. And it was our live stream back in August.
Bloomin' lovely evening, and it was us singing in the back garden of Mum's house, Mum and Kev's house at Rose Cottage, with our woodland in the background, and also interspersed with some footage of the places that inspired us the most and the things that inspired the song. So it was all in all rather lovely.
It was a splendid evening. And during that night, we sang a song called Coming Home, which is a song written by my dad, Bob Whitley. And some of you will know that over the last 20 years, he's been writing a folk musical called Magellan Circumnavigation, which you'll be unsurprised to hear is about Magellan's circumnavigation of the world. We are currently in the 500th year anniversary of that voyage, and Dad had, well, loads of gigs lined up during the 500th year anniversary, and, well, a lot of those have fallen by the wayside for possibly obvious reasons, but he's been delighted to be able to start putting that show on again in recent months. So we thought we would share this track, our version of it, but also exciting is the fact that in the coming weeks we're actually hoping to film a version of the entire musical with Dad and with our mate Lee who plays with him on cello, and we're going to broadcast that later in the year using our platform, which is really exciting because we've never broadcast anything other than a Ninebarrow concert before. So watch this space, we'll have more information about that soon, but for now here's our version of Coming Home. Nights are so long, being patient and strong, coming home, coming home. You'll always be coming home to me. You'll always be coming home to me, coming home. Words crossing oceans and shores, trying hard to reassure. So many nights still to last, until we share our future and our past. When you're home, coming home, coming home. You'll always be coming home to me. You'll always be coming home to me, coming home. I feel the black nights in which you freeze,
fighting for your life against the sea. Trying to be brave and face your fears against mountainous seas and passing years until you're home, coming home, coming home. You'll always be coming home to me. You'll always be coming home to me, coming home. They tell me you were true and brave, words of worthwhile feats and men you've saved. When all I wanted were your fears, to hold you in your weakness through your tears, and to be home, coming home, coming home. You'll always be coming home to me. You'll always be coming home to me. Coming home, coming home, coming home. You'll always be coming home to me. You'll always be coming home to me, to meet again.
What a lovely evening that was. And you may be interested to hear that we've got designs, sneaky designs, on something happening at Rose Cottage later in the year.
Yes, we will be doing another live stream from North Dorset. It's going to be a little bit different to the ones we've done before, though. You know us, we're always looking for opportunities to do something a little bit different and push the boat out. Well, this will certainly fit that description, but we're not quite ready to tell you about it yet. But we'll leave that hanging for
in the
you
air.
to ponder. So, I think it's about time we return to Purbeck for the second half of our wanderings. The sun has come out, everybody.
Isn't it wonderful? So here we are in heaven, or more specifically, Heaven's Gate. This has to be pretty much our most favourite spot in Purbeck, if not Dorset, if not the world. It's absolutely incredible up here. So we've climbed up the hill and out of Kimmeridge, and the view up here never fails to completely take our breath away.
It does. When I used to be a primary school teacher, gosh, this must have been about 10 years ago now. I used to bring kids up here to do poetry and ICT workshops. Strange combination, really, I know. So I guess you can see I've been quite odd for a while now. Every time I would bring kids up here, I'd ask them, how many of you have never come to Purbeck for a walk? And at the age of 10, I was horrified that generally about half of all the kids I brought up here had never come to walk in Purbeck. And it was always so satisfying to hear them gasp when they come over the brow of the hill, like they just couldn't believe that views like this could possibly exist just a short drive from their houses. I think there was this belief that, well, you had to jump on a plane really to experience something like this.
But you don't. Just look at it, it's incredible. So you can see Clavell Tower all the way down there, back there in the distance now. So everything down there, geologically speaking, is the same Kimmeridge clay that we were talking about earlier on in the show. And this beautiful cliff stands up here, looming above it all.
Yeah, it's amazing how it just kind of stretches off into the distance towards Gadcliffe and Tyneham. And what we're stood on here is not a band of chalk like the main ridge that runs through the centre of Purbeck, but rather a limestone one, Portland stone to be precise. And then in front of us, Portland stone turns into good old-fashioned Purbeck limestone.
Okay, so I'm sure that is all very fascinating and interesting. Why? Why is it interesting?
Well, it's interesting because I think everyone should know what is under their feet while they're walking.
Yeah, true.
But it's also important because we're just about to set off in the direction of St James's Church, which is made almost entirely of
Limestone?
correct.
You who ramble, you who range, may the hills you love always be unchanged, and the map and compass always guide you down when the sun's in the west and your path is homeward bound.
Welcome, one and all, to the Cathedral of Purbeck, St James's Church, and I think you'll agree it's an absolute stunner of a building, and it's built in the Gothic Revival style, and it's got a pretty fascinating story behind it.
Yes, it has. Kingston's a tiny little village, and so it's quite remarkable for it to have such a large church. Even more odd for the village to actually have two church buildings.
And even more odd than that is that it's actually had 3 church buildings, all dedicated to St James, over the past 800 years or so.
Let's unravel this mystery as quickly and efficiently as possible. Kingston is in the parish of Corfe Castle, but the parish church is in the village about 1.5 miles down the hill, and that was just too far for the elderly residents of Kingston to travel to.
So, since about the 12th century, Kingston has had a chapel of ease to make it slightly easier for the villagers to get to church, and it stood on the east side of the village, and supposedly it was the twin of the chapel that still stands atop St Aldham's Head.
Yes, now that chapel was on the other side of the village until 1833, but had gradually over hundreds of years fallen into a pretty sorry state.
So, in 1833, the first Earl of Eldon, who lived here on the Encombe estate, knocked that particular chapel down and rebuilt another church in its place.
And that's the building that can still be seen on the other side of the village today.
But just 40 years later, the third Earl of Eldon decided to have a completely new church built on a totally different site. here. Why? One theory is that he wanted to commemorate his grandfather, the first Earl in grand style, whilst giving work to the local quarrymen during a time of recession.
Yes, but another local legend...
For which there is absolutely no evidence for whatsoever.
Well, the legend goes that the third Earl was in fact caught in bed with the vicar's wife, who was, as the story goes, entirely naked, save for one of the Countess's hats. And so this church was built so that the Earl's family could have, in effect, their own private chapel, given that relations between Earl and vicar may have been somewhat frosty.
So whichever of those stories you choose to believe, the result, a stunning building constructed out of local limestone that we mentioned earlier at a cost of £70,000 or over 8.5 million in today's money.
And indeed, finished in 1880, it did serve as a private chapel until 1922, when the old church was finally deconsecrated, and this one became the village church proper.
And as we said, the old church building is still there on the other side of the village, and it served as a village hall for a while, but it's now a private residence.
Wow, what a story. Well, shall we wind up our wandering today?
I think we should.
And head inside for a cheeky little song.
Do let's.
The Cathedral of Purbeck.
It is rather splendid.
Oh, hopefully you can hear those wonderful acoustics in here. It's the thing with churches. I mean, we sing so much in churches. There's a Goldilocks area of acoustics where it's not too big, it's not too small, it's just right. And this one has got it. And in fact, gosh, was it our first album that's got Shadows on it?
Yeah.
The album version of that track was not recorded in a studio. We actually came here on a quiet day to record it because we just wanted to try and capture the beautiful acoustics in here. And yes, so as we brought our stuff into the church, we've actually decided we're going to sing a completely different song to the one that we had planned to do, which is very unlike us because
we normally plan to the nth degree. Things go wrong anyway, but fewer things go wrong because we planned.
If anyone asks us at a gig, they say, do you do requests? Our answer is always yes, if it's already on the set list, because we don't like deviating from our plan because it does tend to go horrendously wrong. So we're feeling slightly nervous about this, but we've decided there's a song we've not sung in 7 years.
We mentioned that with Winter King, we don't sing it really throughout the year because it's rather niche. Well, this one is even
more niche.
Nicher.
Yeah, niche. Niche?
Plus niche.
Isn't Nietzsche? Isn't
that
philosopher?
Philosopher, yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Let's go with more niche.
More niche,
I think.
yes.
So we're going to sing you Tar Barrel and Dale, which is not one of our songs. It's a song that's sung by the Unthanks, and it's about New Year's traditions in Northumberland, in fact, in a place called Allendale, where the menfolk of the town walk through the streets with half whiskey barrels, half barrels filled with tar and set alight. And they parade through the streets.
It's quite hard to believe that it's still going on in 2021.
There must be some mega risk assessment for this, but it does still happen.
Yeah.
And frankly, it makes us slightly jealous that Purbeck doesn't have a similar kind of dangerous New Year tradition.
I think we'll have a think about what else we could do to instate.
Something involving pyrotechnics, maybe, like carrying. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe for next year. Maybe for next year's January Wandering Minstrels, we'll set ourselves on fire and walk through the... Anyway, okay, we'll think about that. But we haven't rehearsed this, and we haven't sung it in 7 years, so there is a risk that this could go horribly wrong, so bear with us.
Tar barrel in Dale, fire in snow, toast the new year, bid farewell to the old. The old year out, the new year in, please won't you let the lucky bird in? With a bottle in hand and a piece of black gold. A stranger's a friend when first footing you go. Ta Barrowdale, fire in snow, toast the new year, bid farewell to the old. At midnight's approach, the band you can hear, the fiery procession of geysers draws near. With friends and good company, and with voices so clear, singing in harmony, bringing in the new year. Ta Barrowdale, fire in snow, toast the new year, bid farewell to the old. Off the heads of the geysers, the blazing barrels are hurled. Onto the bonfire, smoke, sparks and flames swirl. And it's cheers and rejoicing, the rites of old Father Time will link arms together, singing Old Lang Syne. Ta Barrowdale, fire in snow, toast the new year, bid farewell to the old. Throughout the year when we sing this song, old friends and new friends sing along. May good fortune be with you, from all sorrows refrain, till that happy time when we all meet again. Ta Barrowdale, fire in snow, toast the new year, bid farewell to the old.
Oh, I don't think we disgraced ourselves.
Probably not.
We acquitted ourselves. Well, not bad, given we haven't sung it in 7 years, I don't think.
So yes.
It felt like the right song to sing.
I think so. And we hope that wherever you are, that you're having a lovely start to 2022 already.
So we'll hand back to John and Jay in the studio to wind up this January episode of Wandering Minstrels.
Another lovely Purbeck ramble wrapped up for another show. So we hope you enjoyed that one. The sun came out eventually, didn't it? A little bit late.
It was, 6 hours late, I think, actually. But it made for a slightly kind of a nice contrast with a moody first half and a gloriously sunny second one. So can't complain.
We'll take it.
Can't complain.
We'll take it and run.
But look, we're not quite finished. We've got one more treat for you, and that is the episode 5 mixtape.
And if you're not familiar with what a mixtape is, it's basically a little list of music that we love that we thought you would love as well. And we've put it relatively easy for you to find on our website, or if you type in Wandering Minstrels and Spotify, it should be fairly easy to find.
Yeah, it'll come up top of the list. We try and, when we curate these lists, we pick a theme and pick music along that theme. And so this time, we've decided to pick our musical walking holidays as the theme. Because if you're not familiar with these, they are an opportunity for a small number of guests to come to Purbeck with us, have some beautiful walks, stay in some fabulous accommodation, eat some wonderful food, and get to experience some incredible intimate concerts with some of the best musicians on the UK folk scene. And so we've populated this episode's mixtape with musical walking holiday musicians, past, present, and future, because we are on the brink of announcing our 2023 walking holidays. 9 a.m. on the 15th of January is the launch date, and we cannot wait to share the itineraries with everybody. We've got some amazing adventures planned If you think this sounds like something you might enjoy, you need to make sure you're signed up over at ninebarrowwalking.co.uk, because you'll be the first then to know about what we've got planned at 9 AM on the 15th of January.
So that's nearly it for another episode of Wandering Minstrels. Thank you very, very much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed yourselves. And we're going to leave you with some music from Will Pound and Eddie J.
Yes, if you're not familiar with these guys, they are jaw-dropping. It's just what they do is incredible. Will is a master of the harmonica, and Eddie is a master of the accordion, and these two things combine together in really something that has to be seen to be believed.
Quite mind-blowing.
They are going to be joining us for our 2023 holidays, along with some other fabulous musicians. So we thought we'd take a track of theirs and combine it with some of our favourite holiday snaps of last year's walking holiday. So here's a slightly warmer Purbeck than the one we all experienced today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. We really hope you enjoyed watching this episode of Ninebarrow Wandering Minstrels.
Creating these shows is a real labour of love for us.
And every episode takes well over a week to create.
First, there's writing the script.
Then there's a pre-shoot location visit to check out where we're going to film, when we usually capture some of the drone footage.
Then we rehearse.
And then we lug all of our gear out on location at sunrise and begin the hard work.
3 cameras, 1 drone, mobile lighting rigs, field audio recording equipment.
Instruments, a battery generator, the list goes on.
And then when we're done on location, we bring home about 200 gigabytes of footage which John then gets to work on in the editing suite.
And during the couple of days it takes to edit the show together, we usually hook up with some other folky bods to record an interview to include as well.
Every episode takes somewhere between 60 and 70 hours to create, and we love every single minute of it.
If you've enjoyed this episode and you'd like us to continue sharing more stories, music, natural history and folklore, we'd be so grateful if you'd consider making a broadcast donation.
Or you can also support us by visiting our online shop. Every single item in it, from CDs to t-shirts, from framed prints to tea towels, they've all been designed with love and care by, well, us here at Ninebarrow HQ.
Help support us to keep bringing you new adventures and get something beautiful in return.
Because of you, we can keep investing the time and money needed to create episodes like the one you just watched and keep them free to air for everyone to enjoy.
Thank you so much for your support.